Hi, so today we're going to be talking about supply, understanding factors, and the shift of a supply curve. So by definition, supply is the total amount of a specific good or service that is available to consumers. So there's also the law of supply, which essentially says that as prices rise for a good or service, with all other things equal, quantities supplied by sellers will increase for that good or service. So a real-world example is the smartphone market. So we're going to be talking about two things essentially, the movement along a supply curve and the shift of a supply curve caused by non-price factors. So this is a graph that I just found. It's just not accurate, but as we see, as prices get higher, there's a movement along a supply curve, which there's more iPhones that are getting ready to sell. But if we go down the price and see if it's at $15, there's less iPhones that are getting ready to sell. So this is a movement along, so this is quantity supplied, but the non-price factors are these four main factors that we're going to be discussing, which is, first thing is input prices and technology. So right now, one of the more expensive input prices is the processor and developer of these iPhones, and because technology advancing, it kind of gets harder to make iPhones with cheaper things. And so there's less iPhones that are getting ready to sell, which causes a shift left of the supply curve. Prices of related goods isn't that big of a factor in the smartphone market just because everybody these days has a smartphone. But essentially, price of related goods could be a substitute or a complement. So as the price of one substitute rises, it will cause a decrease in the supply of the other substitute. And an example of substitute could be a flip phone maybe. And so sellers' expectations. So right now, Apple has this technique called the product shortage. What basically that they do is they create an impression that the product will run out soon, so customers tend to buy them faster without thinking too hard about it. They have a limit as to how much they can sell every day, even if the phone isn't out of stock, to lure more people in. So that's kind of, if a seller can also think that if iPhone is going to be harder to make next year, they'll probably sell more iPhones now just so that it can be cheaper for them. And so number of sellers is also talking about how competitive the market really is. So when we see here, we can see that Samsung, this is a global smartphone market share. And so we see all these different companies selling it at the market sharing all together here. So blue is Samsung, black is Apple, and so on. And this is just non-price factors, and